Story 1. Am I the asshole for telling my husband's best friend he let himself go after he wouldn't stop teasing me about my crush on him in high school? I met my husband in high school, back when I didn't think much of myself. We had a biology class together and sat next to each other. I thought he was cute, but I didn't pay much attention to him until I found out he was close friends with the guy I had a crush on, who I'll call Jared. After that, I started talking to my husband more, and because he's genuinely kind, he welcomed it. Eventually, we became close enough to hang out outside of class, and through him, I got to know Jared and the rest of their friend group. I tried for a long time to get Jared's attention, but he never showed any interest. When he got a girlfriend, I was crushed. My husband comforted me and told me I was beautiful and that Jared just didn't see it. Not long after, my husband confessed his feelings. Being a stupid teenage girl, I agreed to date him even though I still had leftover feelings for Jared, mostly because I wanted to feel wanted. But after a few months, Jared became single again, and I realized I didn't care the way I once did. That's when I truly loved my husband and only my husband. Years passed, and Jared went through a few relationships. His last breakup hit him hard. Sadly, his girlfriend cheated, and when that happened, he started coming over a lot to vent. Over time, he changed from the confident and attractive guy I once liked to someone more withdrawn, chubbier, and honestly not taking good care of himself. That's when the teasing about high school started. At first, it was just him complaining about how he used to look, but then he kept bringing up how obsessed I was with him. I ignored it because I figured he was just reminiscing about his old days, but it didn't stop. Yesterday night, he came over again and went on the same rant about how popular he used to be. Then he threw in another comment about how I was so in love with him back then, and even added, "I knew you liked me, but you were not someone I'd ever consider being with in high school. No offense." It was insulting, and even my husband looked uncomfortable. I was tipsy and fed up, so I snapped and said, "It doesn't matter because you don't even look as good as you did in high school. I don't care if I was never your type because you're definitely not mine anymore." He looked shocked, my husband gasped, and I immediately felt overwhelmed and apologized. Jared got up to leave, but he was too drunk to drive, so my husband took him to our guest room while I stayed downstairs in shock. We barely spoke the rest of the night. The next morning, Jared left, and my husband finally talked to me. He understands why I was upset, but he thinks it was wrong to say something so harsh when Jared is clearly depressed and struggling with his weight. I get that, but I'm still angry that Jared kept pushing the same hurtful comments over and over. It feels like he's bragging about how I used to like him, and it rubs me the wrong way. So Reddit, be honest but not brutal. Am I the asshole? Side note, yes, this is real. Yes, this is a throwaway account. Yes, I know it's random to be writing this at 2 a.m., but I'm very conflicted at the moment. Also, hopefully the formatting is easy to read and not annoying. I tried my best. Update number 1. November 16th, 2025. Same day, 12 hours later. Hey everyone. I woke up today to a lot of comments, and even though it was a bit overwhelming, I read all of them. And I mean all of them. A lot of people had negative things to say about my husband, which honestly hurt because I didn't think I painted him in a bad light. Somehow, he's being attacked more than Jared is. Before I get into the mini update, I've seen other posters add context and respond to common comments, so I'm going to do the same. This will be long. Bear with me. First, my husband is not a terrible person. I still love him despite everything I mentioned and despite what I'm going to mention in this update. He is not weak or a beta, like some people said. He just struggles to confront situations like this directly. Jared has been his best friend since 5th grade. That is not a bond that breaks easily. They went to the same elementary school, high school, and university. They are basically brothers. My husband is not sucking up to Jared because he thinks Jared is better than him. If Jared weren't in such a low place, my husband would have been much harsher. I also don't think my husband is perfect. He has messed things up in the past, but so have I, and I believe people can change. Second, I do not have feelings for Jared. That ended years ago. And no, if Jared had stayed in shape, I still wouldn't have feelings for him. I stopped liking him during our first year of university. We went to the same school, and he still looked the same as he did in high school, so it wasn't his appearance that changed things. He broke up with his girlfriend, and I realized I didn't care anymore. The old me would have been excited and tried to shoot my shot, but instead, I felt nothing. I love my husband and only my husband. Jared is not an option for me in any way. Third, some people suggested Jared might have feelings for me, which is possible. He has made comments about my appearance before. I worked hard to glow up during my final year of high school because I wanted to improve myself before university. When my husband and I met up with Jared for the first time after that, Jared told me I looked very different. He said it as a compliment. My husband agreed because he thought Jared was just stating the obvious, not flirting. Fourth, divorce is not an option for me. I am very religious, and I take my vows seriously. They are not something I would throw away over this situation. Divorce is not always the solution. So before you comment, divorce, remember that we are real people who have real history, and it is a lot harder to divorce someone than you think it is. Update. I did not show my husband the post, even though many people suggested it. A lot of the comments felt sexist and harsh toward him, and I didn't want to expose him to that. But after reading everything, I did want to talk to him about his inability to stand up for me. He told me he didn't want to isolate Jared right now. I didn't know this before, but according to my husband, Jared became a bit suicidal after the breakup with his girlfriend, and my husband was the only one who could pull him out of that downward spiral. I felt sympathy for Jared, and I told my husband that. But after reading so many comments, I realized that doesn't excuse Jared's behavior, so I pushed for more answers. I also asked my husband if it made him uncomfortable when Jared constantly brought up high school. My husband paused, and I immediately knew he was holding something back. I kept pushing until he finally told me something I never thought I would hear. During our first year of university, Jared started mentioning me more during private conversations with my husband. My husband felt proud of dating me and kept saying things like he had invested in me. That already hurt, but it got worse. He admitted that he used to brag about my body and looks to Jared, showing him pictures of me dressed up for date nights. Then it escalated. Jared ended up seeing a picture of me with no clothes on, something meant only for my husband. According to him, it was an accident because he was scrolling through his photo album and the picture popped up. My husband said that when Jared started bringing up high school, he was scared Jared might bring up what happened in university, and that I would be furious. I am disgusted knowing Jared has seen me like that. It makes all of his comments about me so much worse. My husband is at work right now, which is why I have time to write this. I'm still processing everything, and I feel completely lost. I didn't want him to be late for work, so we weren't able to talk much. Knowing him, he is probably at work stressing right now about me knowing the truth. If it really was an accident, I feel like I can't be completely mad, but it still feels awful knowing my photos were shown without my consent. I feel betrayed, even if I don't think my husband meant for that picture to be seen. I'm still angry that he bragged about me like I was some new sports car he got a great deal on. I know this is going to make a lot of people hate him even more, but I genuinely don't think he intended for any of this to happen. I know this isn't the update most people expected. I still need to talk to my husband when he gets back from work, and I'm hoping to convince Jared to come over later today for a conversation. I'll try to update as soon as I can because I hate when updates take so long. I appreciate all the comments that were respectful toward me and my husband, but I do understand the outrage. Thanks for reading this long update, and thank you to everyone who commented on the original post. Edit. I made a comment earlier that wasn't getting noticed and got buried, so I decided to add an edit here. I won't post another update until tomorrow, when I've had time to gather my thoughts. I have spoken to my husband since the update, and let's just say things are not going great. Just because I want to clear things up, I'll write it here. First, when I say I'm religious, I mean I am Christian. Divorce is frowned upon in my faith because it is believed you should never marry someone you aren't completely sure about. This is not saying I wouldn't divorce him if he did something extreme like cheating or abuse. It is just acknowledging the importance of commitment in a marriage. The people hating on my religion and saying I'm brainwashed are being incredibly irrational. You have clearly jumped to conclusions based on your own biases about certain religions. Second, I apologize if it sounds like I'm excusing my husband's behavior. I absolutely think what he did was wrong, and today we discussed a few things related to his spineless behavior. I won't talk much about what we discussed until the update because he has decided to have a one-on-one conversation with Jared. I'd rather wait until then to piece everything together meaningfully. My husband will be made aware of this thread, because I believe I may have been coddling him too much. I will probably show him after posting this comment, and if all goes well, I will try my best to update tomorrow when he speaks to Jared. Third, I repeat that my husband is not a misogynist. Although some of you think I am a typical stay-at-home trophy wife, I am actually a business owner, which allows me to work from home. Even though my husband makes more than I do, he does not dictate our finances or act like the man of the house, or anything like that. Please understand this. I would never date a misogynist, let alone marry one. My husband is not the type to reduce women to their bodies, despite some of you believing I'm his property. I fear some of you have lost the plot. My husband is not the type to hide spicy folders. Just last year, we made a folder of our spicy content and put a password on it. He never used to do that. I recently asked him to do it to protect our privacy, since he doesn't let anyone near his phone anyway. I genuinely believe he was scrolling through pictures of me in his gallery, and the photo popped up. Although one commenter made a good point about why he made such a big deal about it, that is the only thing making me question the situation. Fourth, I want to thank the people who were extra harsh because it was definitely a wake-up call, even though seeing all the negative comments was starting to get to me. I do believe you all have the best intentions, and I truly appreciate how people from different countries can come together to talk some sense into me, despite never meeting me in person. I might sound naive or stupid to some of you, but it is much harder to notice red flags when you are the one experiencing them. Finally, I will not be divorcing my husband. I've seen people mention therapy, and I think that is justified. I'd rather talk things out on our own first, since I'm not great at confessing my feelings to real-life people in person, especially when their job is to judge you. I believe my husband can learn from his mistakes and change, just like I have in the past. Update. Before I sat down with my husband, I called Jared. I know many of you said not to, but I followed a Redditor's plan. Thank you to the person who messaged me this idea. It worked. The plan was to accuse Jared of taking my husband's phone back in university to look for my spicy photos, hoping he would panic and reveal the truth. If he denied everything, I would say my husband told me he did it so Jared would not need to protect him. I know this was extreme, but so many comments insisted my husband was lying, and it genuinely made me rethink my marriage. A part of me still hoped it was not true, which is why I am relieved I finally know what happened. The call with Jared went like this. I told him I knew what he did in university. He was confused at first, then went silent, then insisted he never looked for nudes. He admitted he scrolled through my husband's photos of me only because my husband gave him the phone, which matched the bragging story. He also saw a nude by accident. He said he immediately showed my husband and smirked because he thought I looked hot and thought my husband did a good job. My husband apparently grabbed the phone and begged him not to tell me. This matched what my husband told me later, except he left out the smirk. After the call, Jared called my husband. I was angry at first, thinking they planned a story, but then I realized my husband would not have told me about the call if he wanted to lie. I showed him the Reddit thread. He was upset I posted about our situation and worried Jared might see it, but he calmed down when I explained I changed names and details. When he started reading comments, he became defensive and began spiraling, asking why I would entertain them. He raised his voice until I said maybe they were right, and maybe we should not be together. That snapped him out of it. He apologized, begged me not to leave, and kept reading. He agreed with some comments defending him, and even thanked me for defending him in my updates. He told me through tears that he did not want to lose me. He talked about loving me, trying to make me feel secure, and never wanting to dehumanize me. He said he was not bragging about my body in the way I described. He felt I made him look bad and pointed out that women brag about their partners being handsome all the time, and it is seen as normal, yet when he did it, it was seen as creepy. I understood the double standard. When I asked why he did not defend me when Jared made those comments, he said he was sorry and saw it as an attack on himself rather than me. He said he let it slide because Jared was depressed, and he did not want to confront him. He thought my reaction was me defending him and felt I went too far, but said he appreciated it and was only scared Jared might mention the nude photos out of spite. I told him I reacted because I felt attacked. Then he said he asked Jared to apologize to me quando he comes over tomorrow because he could see how upset I was. I was surprised and annoyed because even though I was okay calling Jared, I did not want him in our home yet. I made notes about things to talk about, including the "I invested in you" comment. He said it was a joke and that he was attracted to me in high school, but thinks I look even better now. It still made me feel bad, and he could tell, which led him to kiss me and tell me I am beautiful. I tried not to cave in emotionally, so I pushed him back and continued. I also brought up his friendship with Jared. He admitted he has always been insecure about my past crush on Jared, but thought I would see him as jealous if he cut Jared off, especially since I stayed friends with him after we got together. After we married and Jared let himself go, he no longer saw him as a threat. He told me that if I wanted him to cut off Jared, he would. He said our relationship mattered more than his friendship, and that although he would be upset, he would choose me. I said I was not sure what to do with that yet. I reassured him that I only love him, not Jared. I do want to clarify that I never felt unsafe around Jared, but I disliked the things he said about me. Now that I know the truth, things feel different. Should I make him cut Jared off? My husband promised to do anything to make things right, and I believe him. I am not divorcing him. He loves me and is willing to change, but I am considering therapy for us or for myself. I am very grateful for everyone who reached out and replied to my post. I am not sure another update is needed, but if you want to know what happens with Jared, I can update. I will try to respond to comments in the meantime. Thank you, everyone. Update number 3, 9 days later. So it's been a while. I have been crying non-stop all week, and I just couldn't bring myself to make another update. I honestly forgot about my post until I got on my laptop and saw the notifications from Reddit. But I had a couple of messages from some kind people checking up on me, and I really appreciate you all. I'm going through a dark time, and kind messages truly are amazing. There is so much to unpack, and I honestly don't think anyone could predict what I'm about to say. Sorry if this is complete nonsense. I am not in the mood to edit this fully. Update. So after our talk, I decided to forgive him, as I thought maybe we could work things out, and I truly thought he loved me. We went back to normal after that. I was still on the fence about whether he should cut Jared off or not, but eventually the comments got to me, and I told him to cut him off. I thought he would be upset, but would eventually move on from it. Nope. He immediately got defensive again. He told me that Jared was like his brother, and he couldn't leave him in his time of need. Then he promised that we would keep a little distance from him, but continued saying that we shouldn't cut him off. I got annoyed and yelled, "It's like you're in love with him. You should always pick your wife over your friend." He got quiet. I thought he was silent because I yelled and snapped at him, but I was so wrong. He started yelling at me, right in my face, which was the first time I have ever felt unsafe around him. I was sure he would hit me, but thankfully he didn't. He kept saying slurs and kept saying, "I'm not fucking gay." I made the dumb mistake of provoking him by saying, "You definitely are. I will take accountability for this. I definitely shouldn't have said that." He snapped, and I could see something inside of him break. He started yelling at me too. "Shut the fuck up." He was getting so angry that he was starting to develop tears in his eyes. At first I was scared, but then I kind of got confused. Why is he so offended? I thought. And then it dawned on me. I've seen so many movies about this exact situation. Gay Catholic men marrying women to conceal the truth about their sexuality. I didn't want it to be true. I thought maybe I was overthinking. I do this a lot. I then asked him straight up, "Are you gay?" He looked terrified. Like actually terrified. I kind of got worried he was going to pass out. I asked him again, and he started crying. I have never seen him cry this hard before. I always made him feel like he could not come to me about things like this. He has cried on me before, and I always comforted him, because I don't believe men should bottle up their emotions. So I was confused on why he would hide something so crazy from me. I knew I couldn't freak out on him, or I would never know the truth. So despite every fiber of my body being paralyzed with disgust for his behavior and now possible lies, I calmed myself down and sat with him. He was a lot more compliant than I thought he would be. He sat with me, still visibly crying, and spilled everything. Apparently, he knew he was gay since high school. Although, according to him, he would tell himself he was just bisexual because he liked me as a person and liked dating me. He grew up Catholic, and because of that, he has very traditional Catholic parents who are strict about their faith. His mother is so strict that she at first didn't want him to marry me because I was Christian and not Catholic. He has a brother who is also a dedicated Catholic, and so he was surrounded by very religious people. According to my husband, he told his brother in senior year that he was bisexual, and his brother struck him and told him to change his feelings or else he would tell their parents. My husband was traumatized and never told anyone else. He then, in university, realized he loved me, but he wasn't sexually attracted to me. According to him, he would sleep with me and be disgusted with himself after. This broke me. I thought that was bad, but he delivered the final blow by telling me he was in love with Jared. He is in love with his fucking best friend. We were chasing the same fucking guy. I couldn't take it. I just slapped him across the face and told him we were done. He didn't fight me on it. He just stood there defeated. I couldn't even look at him. All my years with him were a performance for his stupid family. I couldn't stop crying, and soon I started having a panic attack. He quickly rushed to help me, and as much as I hate to say it, he was able to calm me down for a bit. And after getting me water and making me some food, he went to bed. I stayed downstairs. I couldn't go upstairs and face him. I don't know why he dated me in the first place or went through with our marriage. I feel like he was probably lying about the nudes and wanted Jared to see them to prove that he liked women. I hate that I was being used to make him feel more masculine. I don't know how to possibly move on from this. Divorcing him would mean that everything we had built together would have been for nothing. I know I have to leave him, but I can't help but reminisce on the good times we had together. I feel like shit every day now. He left to stay with a friend. I'm sure he's with Jared. Because of course he is. I bet he didn't tell him either. I want to go over to Jared's place and tell him everything he's done, and expose my husband for the shitty things he's done. But at the same time, I do know how this would destroy him completely. I haven't told anyone about this. Not even my sister. My husband had begged me not to tell anyone yet. I want to say something. Anything. To anyone. But I know the absolute chaos it would cause for him and his extremely homophobic family. I know I can't live with this anymore. I feel like I just want to tell someone. He still texts me every day checking up on me. I don't respond. He would order Uber Eats to our door with my favorite foods, and it feels like torture. I sometimes find myself texting him that I missed him and then quickly deleting it. I'm so alone and miserable. I don't know what to do. I don't think I'll update again. I don't know if there's anything left to say. I'm just tired and sad. Please take it easy on me. I will just delete this post if I get too much hate because I cannot handle that right now. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I am so sorry this happened. He did mislead you. And he used you. You are under no obligation to keep his sexuality a secret. What that man did was fraud and abuse. What he is doing now is isolating you, taking away all your support so you have to stay his shield. He did not protect you. He used you, and he is still using you. He wants you to stay quiet so he can spread his lies, so that quando you divorce, you are the one in the wrong. Call your mom, your sister, and your friends, and get support for yourself. Stop putting yourself on fire for a man who does not love you, respect you, or even see you as a human being with feelings and rights. Get a lawyer, ask for a divorce, and then sue him for fraud. The author replied, I have decided to speak to my sister about it. I won't tell my parents, because they are not the most accepting people, but you are right. A lot of comments are telling me how dangerous it is for gay people in our community, which I agree with. I'm trying to respond to some comments right now, and most of them are saying the same thing, that despite his pain, it's not fair that I'm forced to isolate myself because of his lies. I really appreciate you for not being negative or victim blaming. A lot of people are doing that in my Democrat Mississippi. I'm not sure where to start though. Getting a divorce is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. I was looking on some subreddits to find some help, but I don't know if that's the right call. Thanks again. This means a lot. Commenter 2. This is fraud. He stole years from you. He violated your right to privacy by showing your nude photos to sell his cover story. He used you. He is still using you. He still does not give a damn about you. He is trying to protect himself, and he doesn't care how he has prevented you from having a great life with a man who genuinely loves you and can give you the future you want. You should not out him to his family, but you can absolutely tell your family the truth. In these circumstances, you may not need a divorce. You could look into getting an annulment, which, given your beliefs, would make you feel more comfortable. Do not let this heinous man steal one more day of your life. Talk to a lawyer. Figure out exactly what you want to walk away from this life you built with him. Get a therapist to help you unpack the many ways he's violated you. And only quando you have the legal paperwork ready, have your lawyer contact him and offer your terms. The author replied, I won't tell his family. I don't believe they deserve anything from me or from him. They are extremely hateful people, and I understand Kay, he could be in danger if they find out. But yes, I will tell my family. You are right. I won't let him isolate me away from my people. Thank you for your comment. The author replied, on the religious background. Yes, we had a Catholic wedding because of his mother. So yes, divorce is looked down upon. My parents are also Catholic, even though I chose to be Christian. I've been taught since I was very young that divorce is unacceptable. Not all people are the same, and not all Christians are the same. Every Catholic and every Christian interprets the Bible differently. Again, I never said divorce is off the table in every situation. This is definitely something that I can never come back from. I have no interest in being with a man. Believe okay you want. Women will always have men like you who choose not to believe us. I don't need or want your support. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who enjoys Reddit stories too. I'll see you in the next one.